What's going on today, Internet? Selfish here with Artospec. If you've been a friend of the channel for a while, then you know that Nitro Deck actually got me to start playing Switch games on a Switch again. Just because it actually makes it feel like an actual game console. A handheld that's one solid piece versus you're moving around wobbly Joy-Cons and what have not like that. Now, there was some features and some things on here that I did and didn't like, and some features I thought were coming in software that just never came, that have actually been added, and we're going to test them here on the new Nitro Deck that's just coming out right now. This is the new CRKd Nitro Deck Plus. This added some features, moved some buttons. It really did listen to the community and take most of the things in the heart that we asked them to take a look at. So now I'm curious to see how good of a job they did. So this will be my first impressions. Let's take a look. Alright, let's take a look at this bad boy. So we do have the new Nitro Deck Plus. The one with all the fixings that really fixed a lot of the issues that we had with the first one. And I have not yet looked at this, obviously, so we will look at this together. One of the biggest additions to this is they did move where the joysticks are on the right-hand side, as well as a little bit of the spacing on that. They did add some additional, which I don't even use the extra function buttons to begin with, but they added some additional function buttons to it, so some people must have wanted that. And it now does work as a dock, which I believe the original one was supposed to do, but it never actually ended up working that way. It worked as a controller, which this one still allows for that as well, but it now works as a dock, so that's pretty sweet. We will take a look at that here while we're going through this. Holy crap, can't talk today. Alright, so here we go. Guess we'll just dump her out. I should have grabbed the other box. I have a couple of the original Nitro Decks, and this box is significantly smaller, and I believe it's because it doesn't come with the monstrous case. Also, I could be wrong, but I believe this Nitro Deck is millimeters smaller. Not a huge difference, but, you know, it is something. And why can't I figure out how to open boxes today? Like, this is probably really simple, and it's just one of the ends, I'm guessing, and I'm just not figuring it out right now. I feel like it should be more complicated, because that's just how boxes are these days. There we go. Well, that's interesting. Got a nifty little handle. Wonder if that's from the little satchel that's in here. So there is a bag in here. Now, if you don't have the CRKd app, you should probably get it. It's kind of neat. I don't know. Maybe you don't get it. I don't really care. If you're into NFTs, it's kind of neat because you can track and you can see like which number this one was off the line and stuff like that. And we will do that here in this video just to show you because I have a couple of the other ones. So I'm already on the app. If I didn't get limited run Nitro Decks the first time around, I probably wouldn't have done it either. So I just wanted to kind of track those because they only made so many. Now, if you did do the pre-order on this, it does come with a DisplayPort to HDMI cable, and that is for allowing it to use that HDMI output and use this as a dock. We do have something in here that was a sticker on the last one. I think it's good because the residue is actually still stuck on one of my last ones, letting you know that you do need to put your Switch into Pro Controller wired mode prior to getting it set up. Looks like this one does not come with the long USB cable the last one did, so that's too bad. Look at that, there is an NFT chip in here. Weird. And this is still that little handle. I wonder if it goes as part of the bag. We do have some scratch paper for the drawer. So there's that. We'll put this stuff back in the box. Maybe we'll leave this out so that we can hook it up as a dock. For the moment I've been waiting for, I'm really excited about this. I really do like the Nitro Deck. It is the only reason why I play Switch anymore. I do really like the Satisfy grips as well. The Nitro Deck just really got me more back into it. I don't know what it is, but it just makes it feel completely different. Oh yeah, so it is. That looks really nice. It is a little bit smaller, I think, but not significantly. Interesting. Alright, so before we do put this in here, let's go through a couple of things real quick. We always go through the I/O first, so let's go through I/O. We'll start here on the top. We do have our trigger buttons. Now these are Hall, so they should work pretty well. We do on the back here, we do have our input and output. Now on this one here, the input is for charging, like the last one. And this actually is just a pass-through to charge your device. And then the output is going to be for using this as a controller or for using this as a dock on this one. Which is pretty cool that it does the dock thing, which again, I thought the other one did initially until I tried to use it. And so we will test it out today so we don't make that mistake twice. The controller itself does not have its own battery, so it does run off that pass-through that goes in, and it runs off of your Switch. Not a big deal. It doesn't use any more power than it seems than like a normal controller would use, like the normal Joy-Cons would use. You do have a couple of extra buttons back here. These are your S1 through 4 buttons on the back here. These are programmable by using this program key right here in conjunction with the CRKd key right here on the front. You can set up any kind of turbo buttons or anything like that you want through that. By default, it is actually set up to these front buttons. I believe I have my other one set up to the shoulders and the triggers. It kind of sucks because I hit them on accident all the time. So we're going to change that probably on this one going forward. We'll try some things out. And then this does have a kickstand, which is huge for the Switch, just having a kickstand. Now, I wish that what they would have done, and I know that this was one of the requests by many people, myself included, was to make this kickstand bigger. I understand they have to fit the components in here for this Type-C input and output, but there probably was a little bit of extra room. I've never had any problems with mine, but I do recall when people were doing initial reviews on these last time that they were actually breaking the kickstand off. Now, I own a couple of them, never had an issue, but I just feel like it would just feel sturdier if it was longer or wider, but it really doesn't make a difference. On the left-hand side, we do have that new button that they added, so this one is programmable. On the right side over here, did I say right side last time? Well, whatever. On this side, the right side over here, we do also have that additional programmable button that they added. I can see people already complaining about that on there because people are going to complain about this, and I already know what it's going to be. On the bottom here, there is nothing on the bottom. On the front here, we do have our Hall sticks. These feel really nice. Actually, these might... I don't know why these feel different. They're about the same as the last ones. We do have our start and select on the top here. We do have our D-pad. This D-pad's pretty decent. Looks like, feels like they use the same D-pad. It does kind of wear in after a little bit. This one obviously has had a little more use, so it's a little bit more worn in. It will wear in after a little bit. We do have this cracked button right here, which is also your home button. And then we have our other switch button over here. Now, these do have L3 and R3, and then we do have our face buttons. And these feel fine. I mean, they just kind of feel like face buttons. They have a lot of spring to them. They track back real quick. They don't sink too far in. Same with the D-pad, doesn't sink too far in. Comes back pretty quickly. You're not seeing a lot of extra pivot, a little bit of extra pivot, but not so much that it makes a difference. Also, it's somewhat rounded, so it doesn't get real painful when you're trying to do your Shoryukens, but it's not the best D-pad for that. Some of the complaints and things that they fixed from the last one, I can tell you right now, is with this analog stick on the bottom here, people are having an issue getting to the B button for the most part. I'll grab my other one here. So when you would try to hit the B button, you would hit the analog stick, so it was kind of an issue with that B button right there. So they have definitely fixed that. It still feels really light without a switch, and it is crazy how much weight that the switch adds. Also, I don't remember how I ended up with two purple ones, because they limited run had a purple and a green. Well, whatever. But yeah, so this was a big issue before, so I don't know that changing this to a complete stick-centric device was the right answer, but to me it's fine. One thing I do see in my comments a lot, and it's funny, one of my viewers actually commented on somebody's comment the other day about how come these guys keep putting sticks on top when a lot of stuff is retro games. Now this obviously is a current console, but I hadn't even really thought a ton about it. But even my kids grew up playing with sticks. They don't use D-pads. If we want to continue to bring this younger generation into these hobbies, some of us old folks are going to have to get used to having sticks in interesting places that maybe we aren't as comfortable with having them. Now, my reverse argument with that would be is, at least with my kids, is, well, I buy the devices, so you're going to have to learn how to use them how I tell you to use them, but that's not always going to work. They also were supposed to have fixed the eject on this, so when you eject these, they are kind of hard to get out. So on these initial ones you hit eject, so now it's ejected, but you really have to do some work to get the handheld out. They get kind of stuck in there. This one's not so bad. My other one has a sticker on the back, so it really gets stuck. This is my modded Switch, so it's probably a little bit more beat up than the other one, but it works really well. We're going to try putting this in here, and I want to just see how the eject works. I think it pops it up now. So you slide it in. I love how these things slide in. Sliding them in is like the most fun part of these. So now when you eject... Interesting. I thought it was supposed to push it up, but maybe it doesn't. It does actually come out a lot easier. So I don't know what they changed. This one does come out easier. It's not as stuck as the other one was, but it doesn't pop up like I thought it was going to. So what I thought was going to happen is you were going to hit it, and it was going to slide up. I'm pretty sure that's how I saw that it was supposed to work. So maybe there's something wrong with this mechanism. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that it's supposed to slide up. No, there's really nothing pushing it up, I guess. So maybe I'm wrong. But that's how I initially had saw that it was going to be. But anyways, wow, that looks and feels nice. All right, so before you put this in, though, however, you do want to make sure, and I don't think I need a stick for this, that you go in your settings, and you go to your controllers, and you have Pro Controller wired communication on. If you don't, this thing won't work. And it actually kind of screws it up if you don't have it on the first time you hook it up. So don't do what I did and just hook it right up if you know that this isn't on. Now, obviously, I'm using it already on a different one, so I already know it's on. But you need to have that on in order for it to read this. But yeah, it gets a little goofy sometimes if that's not hooked up the first time. So right away you see paired. So now we have full access to everything on here. I don't know what game that is that it's really struggling to pull up. But you will have access to all your stuff, and this will work just like any other Pro controller with your lefts and your rights and what have not. Now, you don't need a jailbroke switch in order to do this. Any switch will do. This one's not jailbroke. Both these are OLEDs, so it'll work on the OLED device. Now, it will also work on a non-OLED, and if I felt motivated here, I would pull out a non-OLED for you and throw it in there, but I'm not really that motivated right now. Maybe we'll do it on a future video. We'll do some testing on another video too. I just want to kind of show how cool this is. I am super stoked. This does feel a little bit better in my hands, I think. I don't know that this is as round as the last one was, but it does feel smaller, and I don't think it's that much smaller. Pretty much the same size for the most part. I don't know, maybe it's just the color that's throwing me off. You know, black is a slimming color, they say, so maybe that's what's going on. It's probably exactly the same size. This mechanism is different though, now that I'm looking at it. So this one here does just release, where this one actually has a push thing. So maybe I'm just not feeling it, but this one moves right in there. This one does not have that. There is a little difference to it, so maybe that's just loosening it versus it just being stuck in there. I might have to steal these limited run toppers though and put them over here, because I love these things, except for I keep losing them. So maybe I won't do that. That is the other thing this is missing. The last one did come with a bunch of sticks that were inside of that cool little bag that it had. I'm going to quickly show you how to register to this through the CRKd app. There should be an NFC chip built in here in the back of the right shoulder, where that cracked logo is right there. What you're going to want to do is download the app if you don't already have it yet. Go to that barcode on the box, download the app, and then you should be able to go in here so you can see the other ones that I already have on here, right? And all you do is hit tap to add to collection. You just put this by the NFC. Already got it, and then now it's going to pop up some little fireworks and stuff and tell you your product number and all that kind of stuff. So now it's going through. It's going to tell me which number it was that it was made. So it was number 286 made. Tell us if we got any cool awards or anything like that. Now this is part of the whole NFC thing, so this would give it to you. So if you wanted to sell this as an NFT essentially, you'd be able to do that, but I don't. NFTs have kind of bombed. So far they've made 4,532. This is number 286. Obviously the rarer it is, the more it's worth. This is showing me my rarity level, which I don't know what color that is. So now that it's in here, it's going to tell me I have a firmware update that I can do. I can change my buttons, my triggers. I can change how my joysticks work and stuff like that. So this just wants me to make sure it doesn't go to sleep. Well, my switch is turned to go to sleep pretty quickly. So we'll go into settings here and we will change my sleep mode, I guess. I'm not sure why I set this up. Oh, okay, I can't control it. Never mind. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Well, that took a long time. So now we do have the ability to go through and, if you wanted to, and go back in here, and you can actually change your button placement and settings, things like that. So this is important if you want to change how you want things set up. So in here, all you have to do is go into your buttons. You can change how your layout is, what button does what. If you want to change how your trigger sensitivity is, if you want to check out your dead zones on your sticks, and if you want to change your rumble features. So say I want my rumble on high. Whoa, that's really a lot of rumble. Oh, and you can change the motors one by one. So I didn't mean to go that high. Never mind. So that there is some advantage to having the app outside of the NFT option anyways. Now we'll move on past this and get a little hands-on with it. All right, so let's give this a try. So we're going to need to put power to it and then hook out the Type-C to HDMI, and we should be able to use this that way. So let's take a look. All right, now we do have this hooked up. So we just use this little cable that came with it, and that is right here. It's this little adapter that just runs into the output, and then that goes into your HDMI cable, and then a power cable. Oddly enough, when I had problems with my first one of these, there was a software issue, and they made sure that I was using their cable that they supplied, which they no longer supply. Just thought I'd point that out. Kind of an interesting little observation. But now we do have full control. We're just running an 8-bit do Ultimate Bluetooth controller. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, everything works out just fine. If you never played this game, it's so much fun. Oh, whoops. But anyways, we're not here to play video games. I just wanted to make sure everything worked out like it is supposed to do. And it looks like everything is working out just the way it's supposed to. I will spend some more time with this here in the coming weeks, just going through and checking everything out. I did actually already post a video on the old one on how to program your buttons and things, but if that's something you need to see for this new one, I can definitely include that in my follow-up video for this, because there will be a follow-up video. I really want to make sure that this is exactly the way that I want it to be. I can already see, like I said, some things I know people are going to complain about, like the movement of the joystick on the right hand side, as well as these buttons are probably going to be in somebody's way, even though nobody asked for them and nobody knows what they do. You know somebody's going to complain about it. It looks like right now they're working off your A and B, so that's your A button. So that's pretty cool. And then your back buttons, and these actually feel like they're almost in a better place than they were before, even though they're almost in the same place on the back. I don't feel like I'm hitting them accidentally on purpose as often as I was before, but we'll know more after I get some time to play with it. This is the first time I've had it in my hands. So I don't know what you think about this. Let me know down in the thingamabob. Do you have the old one, which isn't really even old? It's only, what, 6 months old or whatever? Or did you order this one, or have you been looking at it? I'm trying to set something up for you guys. I haven't heard back from CRKd yet, but hopefully I'll have something set up for you guys here pretty soon. If I do, it'll be linked down in the thingamabob if that comes out after this video has been published. The last thing I wanted to do actually was to weigh it to see where it comes in comparison to the initial one, just because I feel like there's something different here, and I know, I mean, obviously there is a little bit of difference, but I can't tell how much bigger or smaller this is, so I think weight would probably be the easiest way to do it. So we're just going to do that, and then we'll be done here. Can't get to the scale I normally use, so we are going to use my dirty kitchen scale that I use for weighing things in the kitchen. Even though I clean this thing constantly, it, for whatever reason, seems like a big magnet to just grow stuff. So here we go. We will take the first one here. That is coming in at 281 grams. And the new one coming in at 275 grams. So it definitely is lighter, which makes sense if it was smaller. Again, I don't think that dimensionally they're much different. They sure don't seem much different. I actually just got around to opening this second one here about 3 weeks ago. So while I was waiting for this new one to show up, I took the time and opened this one up because I have a lot of switches around. So I figure I might as well just start throwing them on all of them. This will be my hard mod switch now that it took down Yuzu. So I'm going to have to start playing my games the old new fashioned way. But that's all I got for today. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share this video with your friends, because sharing helps grow the channel. It really does, and I do appreciate that, friends. Thank you so much for helping us grow. When I'm able to upload, you guys are killing it. I'm really working on trying to figure something. Oh man, it got crap all over my table. Really trying to figure out something where I can work with our schedule here with the newborn and me and my wife's opposite work schedules. So hopefully maybe we'll nail something down here pretty soon, but we did have a family emergency this week, so that really threw it off. So that's why it's been about 5 days since I put up a video, and I do apologize, but I'm actually shooting a bunch of them in a row here. So we'll have all kinds of stuff for you guys and some new content. All I have to do is have time to sit down and edit it, which is going to be the next challenge. But if you've been around this channel for a while, you know that I'm going to tell you there's going to be a couple videos up here on the screen that Google chose for you, and I would recommend clicking on one of those videos because Google knows you more than you know you. So you're probably going to like whatever you think that you would like, even though you don't know that you're going to like it yet, if that tracks. But anyways, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye!